Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Pinnacle Combat 21 professional lightweight fight. It's being sponsored by Sandy Hook Tavern. First, out of the blue corner with 8 wins and 8 losses, standing 5'10", 155 pounds. He's a Muay Thai fighter, a Gold Glove boxer, training with Nomad Muay Thai. From Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Demian the Traveling Circus of Doom, Papagni. Now, fighting out of the red corner with 30 wins and 17 losses, standing 5'6", 155 pounds. He's a 2-time state wrestler, 6 fights against UFC fighters on his resume. Training with Miletich Fighting Systems from Savannah, Illinois. Sponsored by Gary's Tattoo, Jeremy Castro.
And we're back, Pinnacle Combat 21, the Uprising. Rob Spangler, Nick the Cowboy from Hell Mara, Justin Taylor. We're set for a great pro fight. And Nick, I know this might be your candidate for fight of the night. Demian Papagni taking on Jeremy Castro.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this rematch since they fought. I think it was about 5 years ago. Good fight going. Demian got caught in a guillotine. And Castro, you know, he's got all the skills to do that all over again. Demian's more of a stand-up fighter. So it's just one of those guys. I could watch these guys fight 3 or 4 times.
You alluded to it. I was just going to say it's kind of a classic stand-up striker versus a grappler match here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, you just really don't know what's going to happen. You know, Demian has a really good sub game too, and you know Jeremy's going to try to put him there. Jeremy, you know, he knows how to finish fights everywhere too. So
crazy thing about this fight, both fighters pushing 40. I mean, the thought that comes to mind, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but in the MMA game, that's not true.
Yeah, that was slick there where Papagni had the head pinned and snuck a nice knee into the body. Just whatever you can do to attack, you know, any part of their body. The cumulative damage starts to catch up with the guys. So
I was just going to say they're an inspiration to us old guys here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw Demian outside before the fights and had a little chat with him, and he said, you know, I've been looking forward to this rematch because it's the only time in my career that I've ever fought anybody that was older than me.
Castro in the black and yellow trunks.
I didn't get a chance to talk with Jeremy at all. I know he used to be a school teacher. I believe he still is. Can you imagine his classroom? I imagine it's probably pretty quiet and they listen to what he says and a lot of yes sir, no sir.
You'd be surprised. I bet he's one of those guys, he's totally just lets them run the classroom.
Yeah, he's the greatest guy outside of the cage.
Nice
He's soft-spoken.
there. Castro kind of takes out the legs of Papagni, and he's on top right now, but Demian holding on pretty tight.
Like I said, with Damian's ground game, he's got a real good top game with the arm locks and, you know, key locks, arm submissions like that, chokes, and let's say off his back, you know, he's probably not as dangerous.
Castro trying to pull his head out. Even though he got the takedown, really not able to do much with it. There he gets a shot in. Left hand to the body and to the head. Same combination there. And Papagni just trying to hold on here.
Yeah, he's one of the more functionally strong people I've ever rolled with. You know, if he locks his hands, they're not going to be unlocked until he lets go. Grabs a hold of something, you usually don't get it back till the end of the round.
Castro using some forearms there. Into the face of Papagni. Both guys working pretty good here in round 1.
Nick, I noticed Damian's got his toenails painted. Is that a tribute to anybody that you know of? I know a lot of fighters will do that for certain reasons. Do you happen to know?
Not that I'm aware of. Some people just like to do that.
Usually when I have mine painted, it's because one of my daughters have grabbed my toes and painted them for me.
Likely story.
It's a little elbow smash to the chin by Castro. Early here in this first round, I would say Castro certainly getting the better of Papagni, but Demian hanging tough in this first round.
Yeah, I would say if you have to score what you do, you have to score it towards Castro, but I wouldn't say he's doing a lot of damage to end a fight or anything like that. So
he's getting his shots in. He's doing some good grinding here. Keeping a lot of pressure on him. It really wears the guy out, too, to keep having to fight. If your shoulders are pinned the whole time and you're just trying to even make space to make something happen, definitely wears the guy out. Castro's doing an excellent job of just keeping him pinned.
Once again, Castro just maintaining control. We're approaching the 30-second mark here of round one. And we're going to reset. So last 30 seconds or so. Both fighters on their feet. And now back to the canvas quickly.
I was just about to say this is Damian's chance to steal the round here if he can do a flurry on his feet and get the judges to forget about the middle half of the round on the ground.
And the final 10 seconds just about in the books. Yep, Jeremy Castro keeping this one on the ground and kind of grinding out probably an early lead in this fight over Demian Papagni.
Yeah, he definitely, you have to give him that round there. He's kind of wearing out. It's one of those things where you're kind of putting stuff in the bank for the later rounds, wearing Demian out. He's been around long enough, though, that's not going to fluster him or anything like that. So we'll see if Demian can keep it on his feet when he comes out in the second round and do some damage in his world. You see a guy in his corner, Ryan Likes over there helping him. Ryan's another one of those guys that loves Muay Thai. He's always in the gym, always sparring, always training. Just doesn't really have the time to fight, but he loves the fight game so much that he's in there putting all the work in, just doesn't get in front of the crowds.
And we're underway here, round number 2. Jeremy Castro, he's got the black, and I said gold trunks, but it's really more of kind of a light green color.
When Demian was offered this fight, he jumped on it immediately because he just wants to fight whoever's going to get him closer to the 155 title here that held by Eric Wisely. And he's got the skills, to get there. He can get a win right here. He might be might put him next in line, and that's his goal. That's where he's headed with the win here. Castro's not going to give it up easy, that's for sure.
And speaking of Eric Wisely, that might not be who he's going after by the end of the night. Eric is in our main event with Cliff Wright Jr., who very easily could unseat him as the champion. So I look forward to that fight coming up later tonight.
And once again shooting in, but good takedown defense by Demian Papagni.
Good setup there with that hook down to a low single, and Demian telegraphed it and was able to spin right out of it.
We're going to have a little stand-up action here.
This is a good example of if this was a stand-up fight, I think you give it to Demian. If it's a ground fight, obviously you give it to Jeremy probably. And then you mix it all together and you see what happens.
Yeah, Papagni just missed a head kick earlier in this round. You connect on one of those, that's a game changer.
Yeah, it definitely wakes you up or puts you to sleep.
Once again, though, Castro taking the fight to the ground and continue to use his grappling skills and try and grind out another successful round just like he did in round 1. There's a right hand to the head of Papagni. Both fighters just jostling for position here. Castro with a side mount here on top of Papagni, using the elbow to the rib cage area.
There's, I remember, old room for improvement from old coaches and teammates past on Demian was that if he fought at the pace that he trains, he'd be unstoppable, but there are times in a fight where he stops improving for a few seconds and it gives a guy a takedown or sometimes ends a fight. And look to see him regroup here, try to get back to his feet, and try to get back to where he's comfortable and let his hands go.
You know, he's trying to fight to keep Jeremy off his back. Obviously, Jeremy, you don't want him on your back. So he's doing everything he can there. And you notice he might have been able to stand up a little bit there, get to both feet, but he kept his knee on the ground. Jeremy's in a good spot to knee him in the head if he did pull that knee up. So Demian wisely kept that down while he's trying to find a way out.
Castro just kind of dinking and dunking.
Castro tried to put his hook in there, and Demian did a good job of blocking it.
Yeah,
He's got hand control there.
Good
to use
control,
it to stand up, and like I said, Castro's just making him carry his weight, just making it impossible for him to get out right now.
You know, and speaking of weight, I know that we're fighting here at 155. But there's no way Castro weighs 155 right now. He's a big 155, so all that weight on your back's got to take its toll on you.
Well, Castro again repeatedly raining down right hands to the side of the head of Papagni. Going to keep it up. Demian not letting go of the left wrist of Castro.
Anybody else, he could just put that over his head and stand up and spin out. Castro's wrestling is just making that impossible to get anywhere with it.
Time winding down in round number 2.
What he is doing with that wrist control, though, is keeping him from hitting him with it and locking up a choke, more importantly. So.
And we're down to 5 seconds left in the second round. And there we are, round 2 in the books. Fairly even round, but again, I think you have to give the edge probably to Castro just from the standpoint of earning the takedowns and also maybe inflicting just a little bit more damage on Demian Papagni. All right, we're ready for the third and final round. Here we go. Jeremy Castro taking on Demian Papagni.
Yeah, promoter Harry McGlaris usually does a great job with his pro cards. Amateur cards are they're kind of hit and miss sometimes, but his pro cards, he's usually got those locked down pretty well.
Ooh, there was a good exchange by Papagni. Knee, gets another knee in. Castro wraps up the arms of Papagni. Papagni knocks him down. And now Papagni going to get on top and try and control Castro a bit. Trying to reverse fortunes here.
I don't know if Damian's going to, submit him or what, but I think his best chances might be to back off, get on the feet, and try and knock him out.
His top game's pretty solid, though. So.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him jump on top of Castro after really having Castro on top of him for the first 2 rounds.
Experience tells me you don't want to roll around with the wrestler if striking is your best game, but Damian's really, he's real good at picking his spots, and we call it filling the holes, making sure the punches sneak through to really grind out some punishment on the ground. So we'll see if he's able to, he's trying to pass guard here.
Well, now Papagni is back up for a second. Now he's back down.
Oh boy.
Castro just got him.
That was impressive. That was brute strength there. Left some technique, obviously, but wow. What a reversal submission.
What a finish. Jeremy Castro, not only dangerous with the wrestling, but showing some nice jiu-jitsu there. Let's send it down to our ringside announcer once again, Dean Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Pinnacle Combat professional lightweight fight, referee Justin Brown has stopped the fight. Submission by Kimura at 137 of the 3rd round. Your winner, Jeremy Castro.